In the summer of 2025, a season typically marked by predictable diplomatic routines, something extraordinary occurred. The world watched with bated breath as a seemingly minor event unfolded in Tehran, one that would ripple through the complex tapestry of international relations. Iran's foreign minister surprised the world, stepping away from the usual script of geopolitical maneuvering. Before an international press corps gathered in Tehran, he made a startling pronouncement, a gesture so unexpected it momentarily silenced the room. This was no routine diplomatic gesture. It transcended the usual formalities. It was a rare, heartfelt act of gratitude, a public display of appreciation that cut through the noise of global politics. The sincerity was palpable, a departure from the often guarded language of diplomacy. At a time when most nations, wary of international pressures, kept their distance from Iran, this expression of thanks was all the more significant. It challenged the prevailing narrative of isolation. The world, used to Tehran's defiant rhetoric, its unwavering stance against perceived injustices, was caught off guard by this open acknowledgement of friendship. This unexpected olive branch extended in the full glare of international scrutiny. The gesture stood out, not as a transactional alliance driven by strategic interests or economic gain, but as a recognition of a deeper, enduring relationship, a bond forged on shared history and mutual respect. India, navigating its own complex global role, balancing its relationships with various world powers, was singled out for its steadfastness, its unwavering commitment to dialogue and cooperation. This was not about oil or arms deals, the typical currency of international exchange, but about empathy and sovereign respect, principles often overshadowed in the pursuit of national interests. Iran's thanks signaled that, in international relations, beyond the power plays and strategic calculations, quiet friendship can outweigh loud adversarial posturing. That genuine connection can be a powerful force for stability and understanding. It was a reminder that beneath modern geopolitics, with its ever-shifting alliances and rivalries, lie ancient connections that can resurface and reshape the present. That history has a long reach and its echoes can still be heard in the corridors of power. This moment was a new chapter in a story, a fresh page turned in the annals of international diplomacy that began centuries ago along the Silk Road and in the courts of empires, a testament to the enduring power of cultural exchange and human connection. Iran's expression of gratitude didn't emerge in a vacuum. It was sparked by a multifaceted crisis that had unfolded just weeks earlier, a period of intense uncertainty and escalating tensions in the region. This crisis served as the backdrop against which India's actions would be viewed, highlighting the significance of its subsequent response. As regional tensions escalated dramatically, the entire Middle East found itself teetering on the brink of widespread conflict. Diplomatic relations frayed, military posturing intensified, and the threat of open hostilities loomed large, casting a shadow of anxiety over the region and the international community. In the midst of this turmoil, Iran's airspace was abruptly closed, and crippling sanctions were tightened, further isolating the nation and exacerbating an already precarious situation. The closure of airspace had a cascading effect, disrupting travel and trade, and effectively cutting Iran off from the rest of the world. These measures collectively created a humanitarian emergency, placing immense strain on the country's resources and the well-being of its citizens. Basic necessities became scarce, medical supplies dwindled, and the overall quality of life deteriorated rapidly, pushing the population to the brink. Consequently, foreign nationals, including a significant number of Indian citizens who were working, studying, or visiting Iran, found themselves stranded and increasingly desperate to return home to safety. The situation was becoming untenable for those caught in the crossfire. Adding to the chaos, many embassies, fearing for the safety of their staff and citizens, made the difficult decision to close their doors and suspend operations, further limiting the options available to those seeking assistance. The closure of embassies signaled a breakdown in diplomatic normalcy. As the crisis deepened, evacuation flights were abruptly canceled, leaving thousands of people stranded and adding to the growing sense of panic and uncertainty. The cancellation of flights was a major blow to those hoping to escape the escalating tensions. While the world largely stayed silent, hesitant to intervene or take sides in the escalating conflict, the plight of those stranded in Iran grew more dire with each passing day. The international community's inaction was deafening. India, however, acted decisively. quietly invoking its well-established diplomatic channels with Tehran to assess the situation and explore avenues for providing assistance to its citizens and others in need. This quiet diplomacy would prove crucial. India's primary focus was clear: to protect its citizens stranded in Iran and ensure their safe return home, while also extending a helping hand to those caught in the crossfire. The safety and well-being of its people were paramount. Beyond evacuating its own citizens, India also made the compassionate decision to offer humanitarian aid to the Iranian people, recognizing their suffering and demonstrating a commitment to alleviating their hardship. Air India flights, granted special access and overflight permissions through diplomatic negotiations, were organized to facilitate the evacuation and deliver much-needed supplies. These flights were a lifeline for those stranded. These flights not only delivered essential supplies, including medicine and food, but also evacuated not just Indian nationals but also other vulnerable individuals. Showing true international solidarity, India extended its evacuation efforts to include citizens of neighboring countries who were also caught in the crisis, offering them a safe passage out of harm's way. Crucially, no political demands or preconditions were attached to India's assistance. It was offered unconditionally, driven purely by humanitarian considerations. It was a powerful act of compassion, demonstrating responsible leadership and a commitment to upholding human values in the face of adversity. Iran's leadership and its people witnessed a world that largely turned away in silence, seemingly indifferent to their plight, leaving them feeling isolated and vulnerable. But amidst this global silence, one nation, India, reached out with a helping hand, offering tangible assistance and a message of hope. This profound gesture of solidarity, deeply rooted in shared history and civilizational grace, resonated deeply with the Iranian people and their leaders. This act of kindness and support prompted Iran to express its heartfelt public thanks to India, acknowledging the significance of its actions. It was a clear recognition that India had honored a long-standing relationship built on mutual respect, shared values, and a deep understanding of each other's cultures. A relationship stretching back millennia, woven through centuries of trade, cultural exchange, and intellectual dialogue. In a moment of profound crisis, when the world seemed to be looking the other way, empathy and compassion ultimately triumphed over political expediency, demonstrating the true strength of human connection. To understand Iran's gratitude, we must look back to antiquity, when India and Persia were close neighbors. The Silk Road was a vibrant artery connecting their worlds, carrying goods, ideas, and culture. Empires like the Achaemenids and Mauryans shared borders and mutual respect. Archaeological finds and shared stories reveal a deep, ancient kinship. Even as empires fell and religions changed, the underlying connection endured. This civilizational memory explains why, in moments of crisis, fraternity resurfaces between India and Iran. The arrival of Persianate Turkic rulers in India deepened Indo-Persian ties, creating a spectacular cultural synthesis. Persian became the language of courts and high culture, profoundly shaping Indian society. Urdu, born from this fusion, stands as a living testament to their shared heritage. Mughal architecture, poetry, and art all reflect this blend, most famously in the Taj Mahal. The exchange extended to cuisine, music, and etiquette, enriching both cultures. The Mughals adapted Persian influences, creating something uniquely Indian. This shared imperial past left a lasting mark, fostering respect and a sense of historical proximity. It's a legacy that still connects millions across both nations. The 20th century brought dramatic change, reshaping the global landscape in profound ways. It was an era defined by unprecedented technological advancements, devastating world wars, and the rise and fall of ideologies that gripped nations. Empires fell, their vast territories fragmented as the old world order crumbled. The sun began to set on colonial powers, ushering in an age of self-determination for many nations. And amidst this global transformation, India and Iran emerged as modern states, charting their own courses in a world undergoing rapid and often turbulent change. These nations, steeped in ancient history, stepped onto the world stage with renewed purpose. Yet, their historical ties endured, a testament to centuries of cultural exchange, trade, and shared experiences. These bonds, forged over millennia, provided a strong foundation for their modern relationship. This enduring connection was reaffirmed by a 1950 Treaty of Friendship, solidifying their commitment to mutual respect and cooperation in the post-colonial era. This treaty served as a cornerstone for their bilateral relations. During the Cold War, a period of intense ideological rivalry and geopolitical tension, the world was divided into opposing camps. Both India and Iran sought strategic autonomy, navigating the complex landscape of superpower competition while safeguarding their national interests. They refused to be drawn into the orbit of either the United States or the Soviet Union. They were often aligning in their desire for independence, finding common ground in their pursuit of a multipolar world order. This alignment was rooted in shared values and a commitment to non-interference in each other's affairs. This was a desire for independence from superpower influence, allowing them to pursue their own development paths without external coercion. The Iranian Revolution in 1979 was a turning point, dramatically altering the political landscape of the Middle East and beyond. It ushered in a new era of Islamic governance and challenged the existing regional order. But despite the significant ideological shifts, India maintained relations with Iran, demonstrating a commitment to pragmatic diplomacy. This decision was guided by long-term vision over ideology, recognizing the importance of maintaining stable and productive relationships with its neighbors. Their relationship weathered wars and crises, including regional conflicts and international sanctions, demonstrating remarkable resilience. This resilience was marked by continuous dialogue and mutual accommodation, even in the face of significant challenges. India's independent foreign policy, rooted in the principles of non-alignment and strategic autonomy, allowed it to engage with Iran despite global pressures, demonstrating its commitment to an independent and principled approach to international relations. This resilience set the stage, laying a strong foundation for future cooperation and partnership. It set the stage for deeper strategic partnerships in the 21st century, as both nations sought to navigate a rapidly changing world. The Indo-Iranian bond proved remarkably adaptable, evolving to meet the challenges and opportunities of a new era. It has been surviving political upheavals, regional conflicts, and shifting geopolitical alignments. It's a story of continuity, not just convenience, reflecting a deep-seated understanding of mutual interests and shared values. In the 21st century, ancient trade ties were reborn through the Chabahar port project. For India, Chabahar is a gateway to Afghanistan and Central Asia, bypassing Pakistan. For Iran, it's an economic lifeline and a counterweight to sanctions. Despite geopolitical hurdles, India invested heavily, transforming Chabahar into a modern port. The project symbolizes trust and a shared vision for regional connectivity. Chabahar enables Indian goods to reach Afghanistan, fostering stability and development. It's a strategic counterbalance to China's Gwadar port and a key part of India's regional policy. Chabahar is more than infrastructure. It's built on centuries of mutual respect. India's friendship with Iran is a masterclass in diplomatic balancing. New Delhi maintains strong ties with the US and Israel, while nurturing its historic bond with Iran. This approach frustrates those who see the world in black and white, but it serves India's interests. India has had to reduce oil imports under US pressure, yet keeps projects like Chabahar alive. Its policy is one of principled pragmatism, engaging all sides, not isolating any. India's ability to compartmentalize relationships allows it to be a credible partner to many. By keeping lines open to Tehran, India contributes to regional stability. Its support during the 2025 crisis was a testament to its independent foreign policy. Beyond politics, India and Iran share a deep cultural and spiritual kinship. Iran is the spiritual center for India's Shia community, creating powerful people-to-people ties. Persian influence is woven into Indian poetry, music, and cuisine. This shared heritage is alive today, celebrated in films, literature, and art. Cultural exchanges and academic collaborations are reviving awareness of this unique relationship. These bonds provide ballast, helping the relationship endure political storms. For many, the other country feels like a distant cousin, part of the same civilizational family. Iran's public thanks to India in 2025 was more than a diplomatic gesture. It was a lesson for a divided world. It showed that international relations can be guided by empathy and historical memory, not just self-interest. India's actions elevated the relationship into one of civilizational respect. The episode highlighted the value of independent foreign policy and dialogue over confrontation. The Indo-Iranian story is a testament to the power of shared memory and cultural connection. In times of crisis, this historical capital fosters trust and cooperation. The gratitude expressed was for dignity and friendship, not just aid. Even in a divided age, empathy and loyalty remain the foundations of a humane world order.